Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Why don't we get started on our work session? Does anybody have any questions or comments on the minutes of the meetings dated December 22nd? Now we should accept them as presented. Abstract audited vouchers, any issues, problems with that? Listed correspondence, we only have 3 items. First is from the Town of Lancaster Building Department, providing a report of the building permits and applications and complaints, inspection, and expired permits. Second is correspondence from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation informing the Village of Lancaster that the Renewable Energy Resilience Initiative project has been selected to receive a Climate Smart Communities grant in the amount of $310,492. Very good. That's always good news. And last is correspondence from 65 Lake Avenue LLC, providing a copy of an amended environmental easement granted to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation for a property at 65 to 67 Lake Avenue in the Village of Lancaster. I have no other correspondences. Any comments, questions?
Gavin, 65 Lake, you had wanted to put into building.
Yep, so my intent was to close that out tonight because all the documents, I was going to check with Matt. Matt, did you, they're supposed to send the plan to you, a link to it or whatever. Did you ever get that?
I received the email. I get to open it.
Okay.
For the documents. I'm assuming it's all there. The easement is filed. Everything's good.
All right, so we can take that out of committee. It's done.
Sweet.
Okay, this evening, we only have a couple listed resolutions to approve the bid packets and authorize for the advertisement of bids for the following projects effective January 13, 2026, with a bid opening date on Monday, February 9, 2026 at 11 a.m. Project 1 of 2 will be the Village of Lancaster Tree Equity and Education Initiative for the procurement of 227 bare root trees. Project 2 of 2 would be the UCF tree planting for the procurement of 257 bare root trees. Comments, questions on that?
Keeping you busy, Wayne.
Yeah.
And the second resolution is authorizing myself as mayor to sign and execute an agreement with Kidney Architects PC for our municipal building conditions assessment for the Lancaster Municipal Building at 5423 Broadway and the North End Fire Hall at 24 West Rollard Avenue as a selected consultant for these services as previously approved on November 24, 2025. Nothing further with that. We can go right into committees and finance and claims. Chairman Miller.
Do you want to talk about the paper streets?
Sure. Yep, so we met earlier this week, or I guess it was last week, to talk about the surveys of the paper streets that we've had created. After a bit of discussion, what we're going to do moving forward is send letters to each of the property owners with properties adjacent to one of the streets, indicate that they have to talk to their neighbors and try to figure out a plan as to how to divvy up the streets, and then present that back to the village before we make any movement on it. There's not really any rush for this process because no one's at risk of losing access to driveways or garages. So we can let the property owners kind of work it out and then come to us when they have a plan. And those letters will be going out later this week. And also in financing claims, just a reminder, on Wednesday, we have the engineering firms that responded to our RFQ. They're coming to present to the village as we make a determination on how to move forward with a municipal engineering firm. And, reminder, LoSAP is next meeting, so just keep that on your mind. That's it.
Okay. Anything for finance and claims? Not Public Works, Chairman Michael?
No report tonight.
All right. Public safety. I have no report this evening. Again, the Clark Street parking lot project is moving along. We were assured the funds by the county legislators, so I think we're in good shape. We'll just have to get a bid package together and get that out. Other than that, I have nothing else. Building lights and codes, Chairman Michael.
A few things. We have in the package tonight we will sign off on the final contract with Cadeni for the building condition assessment report. We'll start that. I'll set up a kickoff meeting with, you should be there.
Okay.
Mike, if you want to be with Cadeni in the next week or two. So that'll start rolling over the next few weeks. The next, Mike and I met, I don't know, a few weeks ago with TechNet regarding the new access system for the building. So we will all, I know a lot of the employees, DPW employees have already filled out forms to create new PIN codes. So everyone's going to get an email, I believe, asking to set your 6-digit PIN code getting in. So new access will be through a PIN code. There'll be no more fobs. The installation date will be, looks like right now, January 22nd, which is a Thursday, I believe. Originally it was going to be on the 19th, which is Martin Luther King Day, and it was just thought then to be better on the 22nd. So hopefully, on the 22nd, that will all be in place. And then one more thing, North End Fire Hall needs a new generator. That's been on this committee list for 2 years, since January of 2024. The generator that's there right now is not quite as old as me, older than Gavin. It's many decades old. So that's going to have to be replaced. We'll have more. According to Wayne, there's a lot of electrical work that needs to be done for it.
All of it has to be redone, which, you know what I mean, all of those boxes all have to be redone.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 3-circuit, you know, if you want to run the air compressors and everything else, so that's got to be all set up. And then we got to run the gas line to the back of the building. So, I mean, it's a entailed job, but, you know, so.
And that, we can do that in-house, correct?
Yes, you know, it's just that it's not going to be, you know, it's just the component alone, we looked at it, it was like 25, 30 just for that. You know, and then you still got to buy all electrical outlets, you still got to buy boxes for the electrical equipment and everything else, so. But we are ready to go whenever you guys want to get it started, and we can get it going.
So we'll have in the next couple of weeks, probably the next meeting, we should have.
Yes,
Firm
we'll have it.
for the generator itself, and that's all I have.
Okay, anything for building lights and codes?
Yeah, John, maybe you don't know this yet, but as far as like access to the building, if it's, you're punching in a pin, do you have the ability to do something to unlock the doors so you don't have to wait there if you're meeting somebody, or
Yeah.
do you know how it'll work?
Some of us will. Is that how it's going to be set up? Was that the final determination? It's
I
gonna be
don't know,
also
like,
on a
we can
timer.
schedule to have the doors open at certain time. I don't believe that it would work similar to the key fob where like you could, someone would have access to like lock or unlock. That's kind of security wise, like that's how doors can be left
Right.
open.
So it will, if we come on a Saturday, it will automatically lock.
Right, it would give you access, it would relock. Like if there's a meeting scheduled with someone and we know ahead of, like, it's kind of like scheduling and we can make sure that the door is open a certain amount of time. Like, for example, for the meeting tonight, we would unlock the doors at like 5:45 and have it just relock at 8 o'clock. And it would just relock at 8 o'clock, and then if there's, like, I would have administrator access, if we get done at 7:30, I could just go in and say, lock the door. You know, so that it doesn't stay open for a half hour.
And then it'll also be set up for whenever we have regularly scheduled meetings, whether it's HPC or zoning, it'll be
So
unlocked.
someone is meeting someone on the weekend, they need the door unlocked, if they, you know, we'll have to have a system like let so-and-so know, and we can make sure to have it unlocked a certain amount of time.
Who will have admin access to that? To be able to do
That's
that?
gonna still, I think, be determined. I would assume I would, as well as maybe 1 or 2 other people in my office, but if you want others to have access, I mean, just kind of coordinate with myself and TechNet, and they'll set it up however.
Good for more than one person to have it, so that you won't
Right.
be the only one who's
Right.
called to come on.
Right, I'm not in the area, someone else is, yeah.
And Mike's phone number will be on the door for the first.
Yes.
That's true.
For access call.
Yeah, and groups have been notified, and we've given them a grace period, and we'll make sure they have access until they find a new location.
Anything else, John? No. Okay, human resources.
Only thing I have for that this evening, and your office and Matt, I think were the only 2 that I haven't gotten, but coming up this week, CPR offered to village employees, you know, anybody in your office, staff. The 14th and the 15th, it was confirmed on Friday, they have, you know, instructors and whatnot. I believe we're going to be downstairs in the fire department training room, because I think this one's being used. But I will send you information Wednesdays during the day, Thursday evening. I'm not quite certain how many people for Thursday evening, so that might be iffy, but definitely Wednesday, 9 to 1 here.
CPR specific or IED?
CPR specific, and it's offered through the American Heart Association. So there's a certificate, you know, when everything's done, so everybody will be certified. So, Yeah, absolutely. Let me know if you have anybody that's interested, but Wednesday
Send
morning.
correspondence, and then I can reply with it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Thank you.
Other than that, that's all I have this evening.
Okay, community events?
Start off by saying thank you to everybody that put time and effort in, but unfortunately, we had to cancel the New Year's Eve event that we had scheduled. So we went out this year with one canceled event due to the weather. And the idea, I think maybe that sometimes people don't understand, but we rely heavily on DPW, police, fire department to conduct these events. Not only was it weather-related, but the idea that we needed people out to clean up from the weather and whatnot is kind of where our concern was. So my thanks to all the vendors and whatnot for being available that evening, but we unfortunately did not have the event. Looking forward to 2026, though. We've since met with merchants. Fire department was there for a brief meeting, and I want to thank everybody for their opinions and input and whatnot for events for 2026, and we're starting to move in that direction. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, anything for events? I have nothing under economic development this evening. Sewer, Chairman Mickley?
We have Bradley from Watts Engineering here to give an update if you want to come up, Bradley. And as he's doing that, we do have a sewer committee meeting scheduled for this Thursday.
You stole my thunder about that, but yes. Thank you for having me.
You've been south, haven't you?
I'm sorry,
Have you been south?
at South?
Yeah, it looks like you.
No, I haven't.
Must be Windburn.
Maybe, yeah, shoveling snow. Thanks for having me. It's been a couple weeks, so I wanted to give you guys an update and kind of just say hello and check in. The DEC continues to be very pleased with the effort that the village is putting forth. You know, the correspondence we have with them, we stay in constant contact with the DEC. Back in the fall, we submitted the post-construction report for the work that's been done in the village. They are still reviewing that, and any comments or changes, we'll check in with them regularly and see if they have any changes that they request. Later this month, with the village's assistance, we're going to be submitting the annual CMOM report to the DEC. Which is in compliance with the end of January 31st into the DEC. So the plan is to submit to you folks by next week so that the board can take approval in 2 weeks and then still submit it by the end of the month, by the 30th. And that we are on schedule with that, with the information we've gotten from the village and with the Erie County Sewer District, should be no problem to submit that on time. Later this summer, we'll be submitting the annual engineers report that goes into July, and after that point, we plan to meet with the DEC to check in with them in August. So, as John said, the sewer committee is meeting later on this week on Thursday to talk specifics, and we await any word on the WQIP grant for Pleasant Avenue. If the village is approved for that, then the project can go to construction. It's basically shovel-ready at this point.
Yeah.
So, any questions the board has?
Questions?
I keep refreshing that page, waiting to say, it says it'll be updated in December, and it's like, it's past December, come on, like, tell me about the grant. But
I know,
not yet.
exactly. We would have hoped that the village would have heard a response, but there's been no news, which is
Nope,
surprising.
Nothing.
Good. Thank you,
All right.
Brad.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice night.
You too.
All right, thank you so much. Grants, Chairman O'Brien?
Some really good news about the Plum Bottom Creek Culvert project. We found out on Friday that the pipes and other materials will be delivered on the 23rd, and that will be in the staging area alongside the creek and next to Stribbing Park. But that means from that point until the end of the project, that section of the parking lot will be off limits, because they're going to have the materials staged there and also some equipment that they need to fix the culvert. Letters will go out this week to the property owners adjacent to that, I think 43 and 41 Central. They have got residents that sometimes use that area of the parking lot, and they'll just be advised that it will be not usable for the duration. I actually sent an email to Shannon McNichol, who owns 43 Central, because she emailed me about something else, and just let her know that that was happening, so she's aware. They've also notified the Bee, and they're going to put something in the paper about it, as well as post it on social media, and we'll put it out on social media too. I don't want anyone to be surprised. I want it to be, we prefer to give 4 weeks lead time when we're closing off something like this, but just the timing of when we found out to when it's going to be here, it's only 2 weeks. So we just want to get the information out there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, that in the Clark Street lot, the majority of it does not allow overnight parking. Do you know if that's?
So behind the buildings, that row that's directly like right at their grass line.
Yep.
That's all their property, so you're able to park there.
Right.
And then I believe next to the creek, and that, I believe, are the only designated areas.
So I think it would be beneficial to the residents that are used to parking in one spot, they can't park there anymore, if we would suspend enforcement of that no overnight parking restriction for the duration of the project.
Is that last row, the one where overnight parking is, going to be impacted by this?
So I know what you're talking about. That one's right off of Clark Street, like right next to Clark Street where the creek is.
Correct.
And then this is the section kind of behind 43 Central, in between the park and 43 Central along the creek there.
Oh, because they don't have to park there, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't believe it's enforced there because people park there all night, all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it would be good of us to suspend enforcement for the duration, just so they have the opportunity. Because I know, like, you generally can find a spot there, but if there's an event going on, they may have to park somewhere else, and then they go out and move their car. And I think it would just be, it's a necessary project. We've got to have it done, but we can make it easier on folks if we suspend that. So I will make a resolution during the meeting to suspend that overnight
Or
parking
if we
restriction.
could try to corral them just for plowing purposes, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to leave their equipment there, and they're just going to barricade the section that they're working in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to be able to park there anyways.
Right, but now if people just park throughout the lot instead of in one area for plowing purposes overnight, it'll make it a little more difficult for your guys.
Yeah, but it'll be about the same, because they usually park in the front. Most people, there's usually 2 or 3 phantom
Yeah.
cars that park where they're going to be located.
That's good.
So we should be okay.
Yeah, wasn't there an issue a couple years ago, I think, where you had to put notes on cars telling people to move so you could
Because they
plow?
wouldn't, they didn't move at all.
Yeah.
So they've been there for weeks, so it's
Yeah.
kind of, 1 or 2 is bad, but when you got 2 feet of snow in front of their truck.
Yeah, I think that's not likely with these people, because the idea is they're moving in and out,
Right.
which
So
is.
most of the time,
yeah.
the front usually gets in and out.
So if there's you get any questions about this project, you can reach out on it. But it's good that's happening. We thought it would have been maybe in the fall. So in the grand scheme of things, this isn't much of a delay. And 3 months is the expected duration of the project. So, by springtime, things will be opened up again, and we can, just move forward with it until phase 2 of that project happens, hopefully down the road. For the Pocket Park project alongside this building, the design is 90% complete. It says 90% complete on the file. That's how I know. We had a conversation about that last week, just to get a sense of our comfort level with it. And I think it's going to be a great little park. There were some questions about what the DOT will and will not allow, because part of what we're updating is in the right-of-way, the Broadway right-of-way. And I know in the past, we butted heads with the DOT about putting things in the right-of-way there. So I've already reached out. They're putting it through their review process. They'll take a look at the plans. We will have to, or Labella will have to get permits to do the little bit of work that we need to do. It really comes down to, the intent is to have these brick pillars kind of like flanking the path. DOT probably won't allow it to be in the right-of-way. There's concerns about them being hit by cars or something. So they'll probably be pushed back. We will need permits, though, to extend the path to the sidewalk and put the landscaping in and everything. So, but that's just a standard process. It's all done online. Additionally, it'll be going through the planning board, through the site plan review process. Labella is working on the applications for all of that, and also the application for historic. But both those boards are aware of this project. I've been in communication with them, so nothing should be a surprise. They've all had a chance to weigh in on different aspects of it, so this is just a formality at this point, I think. So I expect it